smell I've been with you. You know how morbidly jealous Roger gets.
So you won't change your mind to come with me? I hoped I might persuade you to Helen to the very last.
We agreed to give it 2 months. Letters from me and a phone call from you on Tuesdays. But not before 8. Then Roger's at his gun club. You know I'll come. Just give me more time.
All I know is that I'm going to be really lonely. All alone in cold London.
Don't exaggerate. You'll get used to it.
You wouldn't have to return as a stowaway.
I'll be bloody glad to see the back of that bloke, Dean, when he moves out next month.
Blasted gramophone. Be a relief to everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah. With the exception of Kutowski, of course. He'll be losing his boozing pal when Dean goes.
And he can take his empty wine bottles with him as well. Might just find room in the bins for something else.
Stick the kettle on half up. I'm dying for a drink myself.
A little bird told me you've already left the empty room.
Little Chinese bird, was it?
I must confess I was a bit put out that you told Miss Chan before informing me. I am your oldest tenant, after all, and I think I can rightly say that I've never caused you the slightest trouble. You know me. Always believe in speaking frankly if there's anything on my mind, and I was a little hurt by it.
Well, to be honest, I didn't know how you'd take it. You see, the young fellow moving to number 2, he's got the same name as you. I mean, you have to laugh. I mean, what a coincidence.
You mean his name's Arthur Johnson?
No, not as bad as that. But he's called Anthony Johnson. You'll have to be careful you don't get your post mixed up. Don't want him reading your love letters, do you?
I've nothing to hide. My life's an open book.
Bloody fine basin, this. Cost me all of 50 quid to get it fitted. Oh, your lot did it, as I recall.
It was a reject. There was a flaw in the soap dish.
For 40 quid a week? What do you expect?
It's no concern of mine.
Oh, I know it's what you paid for your whole flat. But you can thank your lucky stars you got hold of it before I knew the ropes.
I only hope he's given you a good bank reference and that he's got a decent job.
No worries there, mate. You paid 2 months in advance. Cash beats a bank reference any day.
My namesake won't be home much anyway. Will he?
He moves in at the weekend. What's so interesting out there?
Nothing. I was just thinking our new tenant doesn't have a particularly good view.
After all I've done for you, Arthur. £100 she asked for you, from her own sister. And then she was off, like greased lightning.
the body more than raiment.
Would you be so kind as to reduce the volume of your gramophone, Mr. Dean?
Music hath charms to soothe the savage breath.
Right then.
Morning, Barry. A little late, aren't we? Do you know what the time is?
About 9:30, I reckon.
You reckon.
Old Granger's coming across the yard.
Take that filthy muck out of your mouth. Every day the same. Piles of the stuff. As if the world didn't have a paper shortage. I tidy up the circulars, you know. No one seems to care about them, but it's not my place to throw them away.
Anthony Johnson. I moved Tenant the weekend.
You're the fellow who's taken the little back room, aren't you? Everyone keeps himself to himself here. And you won't want to use the phone after 11, will you?
Where's the phone?
On the first floor landing. My flat's on the top floor. I've a whole flat to myself, not just a room.
You must be the other Johnson.
I've lived here for 20 years. You are the other one.
Mr. Johnson, I presume.
The other Johnson.
You should put that on your nameplate. My name's Brian. Brian Katowski. And this is Jonathan Dean. He's the best pal a fellow could have, eh?
You alone? Oh, forever and a day. If I'm seen to depart.
Leaving me alone with Bodicea. Without your influence, man, she'll do me in. The little woman will tear me up into little pieces.
As in all the best marriages, it's no bed of roses, me old pal. It's a battlefield. Well, look at Tolstoy. Look at Lawrence.
So, what is there to do around here?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Except boozing. Boozing, talking, and screwing.
In that order.
Well, that's up to you.
What the hell do you think you're doing, coming to the pub without me?
You were asleep. Dead to the world.
Sleeping in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed.
Shut up. Don't be so disgusting.
Meet my wife, Vesta.
Your wife, Vesta, needs a drink. G and T, in capital letters. A big one.
Appearances, Arthur.
I'm obviously not very good at telling lies. I know Roger senses there is something between us. He was always jealous without reason, without showing it too much. But now he phones me in the office, 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. And last week he opened 2 letters addressed to me. One was from my mother, the other from a mail order firm. You don't know my mad passion for buying anything when all one has to do is tick a box.
I hope the coast's clear. He's not listening on another extension, is he? Otherwise, I can see him turning up here tomorrow and shooting me. Of course I'm teasing you, darling. I got your letter, but I wasn't expecting a detailed description of Roger's wills. Well, term starts in a week. I've enrolled for a few lectures, but I'm going to be doing most of my dissertation work from home, so... Do I go out in the evening? Where should I go? And darling, with whom?
And we've only got 3 little dustbins.
Wouldn't matter if we had 10, Arthur.
It's the principle of the thing. I've a right to expect my rubbish to be collected. I'm going to complain to the authorities. A proper letter from a taxpayer might shake them up a bit.
And if pigs had wings, they might fly. Ooh, the bird droppings are bad enough. Stick the kettle on, Arthur. How's that new chap? What's his name?
Don't ask me. I collect the rent, but otherwise I keep myself to myself, as you know. Dear Sir or Madam, may I draw your attention to the present unacceptable conditions in Trinity Road? As a long-term resident of this road, I would remind you of your responsibility for the regular collection of our domestic refuse. With reference to my complaint,
Go into the other room, Arthur, and fetch another teaspoon from the sideboard. One of the best ones, mind, with the initials. Put the light on, Arthur!
If you're going out for the evening or just to post a letter.
It's to post a letter, why?
Allow me to take it for you. I've got to post one myself.
All right.
I hope you've given your full address, just to avoid any embarrassing mistakes.
Don't let's make problems when none exist.
I think it's my duty to bring to your attention the need to make it quite clear that your letters be addressed to room 2. Having said that, you can't blame me for any mix-ups.
I wouldn't dream of it. It all sounds like too much hassle. Shall I take yours too?
Spare penny for the guy, mister. Mister, spare penny for the guy.
What? September?
You gotta start early, or someone else will quit your pitch.
Where's your guy? I can't see a guy anywhere.
That's what we're collecting for. Thanks.
Dear Mr. Johnson, in reply to your letter of the 22nd inst, inquiring about part-time employment in the Youth Welfare Service of the London Borough of Kenbourne, Dear Mr. Johnson, my most sincere. Dear Mr. Johnson, please accept my heartfelt apologies for having opened your letter in error. Considering the gravity of this intrusion into your private affairs, I think it only proper to give you a full explanation of the circumstances. I myself was expecting a letter from the council in reply to one of my own, requesting action to be taken concerning the disgraceful situation resulting from the refuse collectors' strike. I write this letter in the hope that you will be kind enough to overlook that which was, in fact, a genuine mistake. I am, yours sincerely, Arthur Johnson.
I tell you, sorry. You give theatre ticket to other nice girl. I stay at home and wash hair. Alone. Don't be silly. I don't love you because I wash hair. I tell you, I love you. I love many, many people.
Penny for the guy, mister. Penny for the guy.
I wonder, do you have any idea who Guy Fawkes was and why they burned his effigy?
You gonna tell me?
A 17th century traitor.
He blowed up Parliament, didn't he?
So you do know.
Everyone knows.
Where's the bonfire going to be? Redcliffe Park?
The park people won't let us. Hey, we could have it in our backyard like last time. Yeah. But will the coppers break it up like last time?
What about that over there?
Yes, better. Got lots of room.
Mr. Johnson?
I was down in the cellar last night.
Bully for you.
I was looking for a screwdriver to repair a socket in my flat.
Moan. First it's the rubbish, now it's the electrics. Tell me the place needs rewiring.
Of course not. I simply wanted to explain why I was in the cellar.
Arthur, do what you like, mate. I mean, why don't you invite some birds down there? Hey? It's a free country. Whatever turns you on. I suppose you were looking for a screw. What is it? Says everybody's interested in my secretary. Hey, you've got plenty to have a bonfire out here in the yard, eh?
Thanks all the same. There's a lot of timber and other junk in our cellar we could burn. I had a word with the landlord.
Oh, that's good.
My big brother's got a wheelbarrow.
That's right, David.
And where are we going to find a hat for the guy? We must have a hat.
We can have rockets and Roman candles.
Yeah!
You can use one of my husband's old suit. Then he will have to buy a new one. And I'm sure we'll find a hat for the guy.
I mind your hand.
Hey.
You want a hand?
Nah.
Oh. Look at this. Filthy.
Ciao, uccisno.
Why do you want to waste your money on a hole like that?
Caspian would let you keep your room. I'm sure.
He's already let it. To some spade. Oh, Templar. Oh, Morley's. Oh, the times. Oh, the manners.
It's big enough for us record player, isn't it? The previous tenant left it.
We had a case like this round here. That would be something for your research, eh? The Kenbourne killer. 23 years ago, he strangled his first victim here, a girl called Maureen Cowan.
The cemetery?
No, next to it, in front of the row of garages. She was on the game. That was her patch. Well, I was only a nipper at the time, but I can remember it well enough.
Nipper? Christ, you must be kidding. You were 14 if you were a day.
They never caught the bastard. And 2 years later, he struck again, eh? The Kenbourne killer. This time it was a student nurse called Bridget. Bridget something, I can't remember the name. Irish girl. Never took a penny. Do you think a guy like that would be a psychopath?
I study psychopaths. I'm not the police.
I asked myself if it wouldn't be better for us to try and forget each other. It would still be possible, Tony. Even I, whom you regard as excessively romantic, even I know that people don't go on loving each other hopelessly forever. The story of Troilus and Cressida may be beautiful, but it isn't real.
Rubbish. Stupid, illogical rubbish.
No, that's mine. No, mine. Cowardy. Cowardy, cowardy custard. Johnson is a bastard. Where is your dad? Dead. Auntie's baby. Where's your dad, Arthur Johnson?
I got your letter. No, Helen, I'm not angry. I'm tired. Sick and tired. You're not a little girl anymore. Shit. Helen, we set ourselves a deadline, remember? Psst. No, I can't. Some other time. No, Helen, nothing.
I'm a bore.
I was talking to someone else. The phone's on the stairs.
I should know it by now. Investors told me off the minute.
Hello? Yeah. No, definitely not. Do you think I want to sit around in a hotel room all week over Christmas to wait to see you for an hour? A day at most? If you manage to escape your keeper, that is. And the same at Easter, maybe. No, Helen, no. I won't play lapdog. Hello? Yeah, that was the last of my change. Don't cry, please. Don't cry. Don't cry. I do love you. You know I do. No, I don't know. Just make up your mind. The next letter is going to be bloody important. Helen, it's our last chance. You don't need to be afraid of Roger. I'll be here with you. He'll divorce you all right when he sees the resistance is futile. You can't keep me waiting forever. There are other women in the world, you know. All I hear is how important your husband is to you. And now you're afraid you find an unaccounted call on his phone bill next month. It's like a bloody French farce. Listen, I ask myself whether, if it's not too late anyway.
Go.
Busy? Well, not a bad idea. But perhaps we try the other way around this time? Okay? Okay, see you soon.
Well, something's going on, isn't it? Now I get it. You're so fond of this quaint little place with all its precious antiques and that fabulous view to an old world cellar door. You simply can't tear yourself away, ma'am. Not for a single evening. And that lampshade, it looks just like a Portuguese man of war.
I knew it was a jellyfish, but I didn't know what kind.
Yeah.
Now, the fact is, I'm expecting a phone call. That's why I couldn't get away. Tell the whole story someday. the moment, I'd rather hear all about you.
Awfully sorry to disturb you. I'm Winston Murphy. Just moved in upstairs. Wonder whether you could do me a favour and, lend me a little salt.
Well, I'll be. So that was your surprise. I can't believe it. Coincidences?
Well, not entirely. You see, the salt was just an excuse. I saw you outside the front door.
Yeah, but you, living in this area, in this house, we know each other. From Kingston, Jamaica, not on Thames. Haven't seen each other for 12 years.
Do you want to set the place alight?
So what pissed you off this morning?
How dare you use such language to me? When I was your age... Don't stand there. Put the kettle on and make some tea.
Arthur?
The tea's brewing. You seen that bleeding heap of timber they want to burn for a bonfire? Over on the waste ground?
And who are they?
Ain't got a clue. Suppose it's local kids.
No, I haven't seen it. I prefer it in the cup, if you don't mind.
I tell you, I've never seen such a bleeding heap of timber like that before. Not for a bonfire, anyway. Be the biggest burn-up in the whole of the area.
No doubt the fireworks industry will do a roaring trade.
Yeah, and the fire brigade and all. It's no good looking out the window. You won't see nothing from here. It's further over in Bresno Street. You know, by the demolition site, other side of the fence.
Let's hope there won't be a catastrophe.
Can you really trust him to look after baby alone?
It will do Arthur a world of good to be put in a position of trust like that. Won't it, Arthur? I'm proud of you, Arthur.
No, don't go. My pictures.
But don't let them off. I want to light the fire first, right? Be careful, right?
I see no reason why gunpowder trees and today the thief forgot. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder trees and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder trees and today the thief forgot. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder trees and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder trees and today the thief forgot. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder trees and plot. I see no reason why some other treason should ever be forgotten.
The next letter will be our last chance.
Other people's correspondence is sacrosanct. Opening other people's letters is the action of a thief.
Look at the stars, my star. Would I were the heavens that I might look at you with many eyes.
You're not short of surprises, Winston. I suppose you turned me next to your professor of ancient Greek.
I considered it once, but there's more money in accountancy than in Aristotle. I'm a financial advisor.
You're a mystery to me.
Tony, I've chosen you. Absolutely and finally. I shall leave Roger. Tony, forgive me. I've played fast and loose with you like a right gypsy. We could be together by Saturday. Say we will be, and I will come even if I have to run from Roger in my nightdress.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. They're all for you, I'm afraid.
Tony, you set this guy straight, yeah? Didn't she insult my best pal?
Give him an earful, did she? And you were rude to her? I get the picture.
Don't want her home like it, have you?
Not me, lad. Never made my mistake of putting my head in a noose. But I use my eyes. When a woman's rude to a man, and he's rude to her, it means but one thing. They fancy each other, rotten.
What do you mean?
Mark my words, lad. Him and your missus is out there somewhere now, being rude to each other.
Marvellous. The Pilgrim will be up half the night, drinking and carousing, in the room next to mine.
I hope the other Johnson upstairs slips soundly. Get rid of him, can't you?
Me?
Yeah. He's your friend.
My friend? I've never seen him before in my life. Didn't like all that talk about my wife. You shouldn't have said that.
He doesn't even know, Vesta. How can you listen to that kind of drunken babble?
You're a real pal, Tony. Do you know that? You're the best pal a man ever had.
Let him sleep there for half an hour. We'll soon knock him into shape with a good dose of strong coffee. I made a lot of them like that. In my ambulance driving days.
Ancient Greek. Accountancy, medical training. You weren't a lawyer as well, by any chance?
Funny you should mention that. I did read for the bar, but I was never called. I missed it by the skin of my teeth. Though I don't quite see what my teeth had to do with it.
You shouldn't have said that about Jonathan. He's the best pal I ever had.
Trinity Road, please.
Trinity Road? Where's it, Governor? I'll just come from there on when we're out of bed now.
You can't refuse us there. I shall note your number. I shall report you to the authorities.
Screw you and your authorities.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes?
Detective Inspector Glass. I'd like a few words with you. May I come in? We're investigating a murder, Mr. Johnson. Could you tell me where and how you spent yesterday evening?
What do you mean? Where and how?
Well, quite simply, Mr. Johnson, I'd just like to know where you were yesterday evening.
I was here. Here in my flat. I came home from work at 6:30 and stayed here.
Were you alone?
Yes.
According to my information, you spent the evening with Winston Mervyn, Brian Kotowski, and a person by the name of Potter.
And a person by the name of... Oh, I see. I think you're mistaking me for Anthony Johnson, the other one. He lives in room 2 on the ground floor.
Oh, sorry about that,
And
Mr.
I said
Johnson.
I was here all evening.
Understandable confusion, I think you'll agree. Then you won't be able to tell us the present whereabouts of Brian Kotowski.
I hardly know him. I keep myself to myself. But tell me, the murder you mentioned, are you connecting Mr. Kotowski with it in any way?
Oh, inevitably, Mr. Johnson. The murdered woman was his wife.
When did I let you off the hook?
Off the hook? Who?
The police. Well, you didn't see you down at the station.
Vesta was murdered last night, Tommy. Strangled. And Brian's disappeared.
Police came at 8. Brian didn't open the door, so they rang my bell. The inspector wanted to know when I'd last seen Brian and what sort of state he was in.
And then you told him about Potter's insinuations?
Well, what would you have done? I'm sorry. They traced Potter anyway. He must have slept right through, I suppose. His big match was no match for his hangover. Anyway, they called me down to the station and asked whether Brian had really stormed off in a violent fit of jealousy. I told him he'd gone for Vesta and him.
It's crazy. The babbling of some drunken idiot. Without the slightest foundation.
Unfortunately not.
What do you mean? What? You and Vesta?
Well, Christ, why do you think I moved out? I mean, we couldn't do it here, could we, with the poor bastard in the next room? Yes, I was with her yesterday. Afterwards, we went to the Grand Duke for a drink. We left each other just after 11. Vesta wanted to catch the last bus.
Morning, Mr. Johnson. You seen this? That burglar's done in. She must have lived in the same house as you. Is that true? Don't give an house number in the paper, but if you read between the lines, it says here, the body of a woman, Miss Vesta Kotowski, 36 of Trinity Road, Kenbourne Vale, West London, was found strangled to death in Oriel Mews early this morning. Police are investigating the murder.
Hello, sweetheart. Oh, it's breathing out here. Why don't you come back with me, eh? Fancy a bit of fun, do you, darling? Eh?
Terrible business, this murder.
Yes. Have the police questioned you yet?
No, they haven't.
I find that surprising.
Yes, I could tell them a thing or two as well.
Do you intend to?
Shouldn't think so. If they want anything, they know where to find me. Mr. Johnson.
Yes?
I've been meaning to thank you. It's weeks ago now, but you left me a note apologizing for opening one of my letters.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't a personal letter anyway.
Of course not. A personal letter, that would have been unpardonable. A real crime.
If Brian Kotowski did kill her, he can't have been at Dean's place at 11:15. He left you at 10 to 11 to catch her at closing time, so they think, without knowing from which direction she'd come or whether she'd come at all. Isn't it rather unlikely that a husband should hang around in a pitch-black mews on a bitterly cold night simply to have it out with his own wife? And not just that, but to murder her as well.
We don't really know what conclusions they've reached.
The police always think the motive's jealousy, and that wives are murdered by their husbands.
You say you come 8:30. You oversleep. Why not by alarm clock? You wouldn't oversleep if I sleep with you. Maybe yes. Maybe no. Of course I love you. You come quickly before Lily gets the sack.
Everything all right?
Yeah.
Jump in.
What have I done? No word from you. So whatever happens now, I have to see you. I have to come. I love you, Helen. No. Forgive me. I'm sorry not to have written before, as I promised. I knew you would be angry if I said I couldn't make up my mind. Well, I have made up my mind now. I've decided to stay with Roger. I'm his wife. My place is by his side.
So what do you think of it? Very nice indeed. If you happen to have the odd 100,000 to spare. But it's no place for a bachelor, is it? You will have to get married, Winston. Settle down, have kids, and with a little bit of luck, you'll be able to plant another tent like those.
Do I detect a note of disapproval?
Not at all.
I think I'll buy it. Just a bit of color.
Look at this. Vester's husband found drowned. The body of a man washed up on the banks of the River Don in Aberdeen, Scotland, was today identified as that of Mr. Brian Kotowski, 40, an antique dealer.
I wish I hadn't looked at the paper until tomorrow. Look, I have an appointment. I must be off. I must tell the estate agents that I found the house that I'm looking for. Otherwise, they'll keep sending me their stuff from now until doomsday. Perhaps this will buck you up a bit. I hope so.
I know I owe you a decision. Well, I have made up my mind now. I must tell you frankly, I've decided to stay with Roger. I'm his wife. My place is by his side. I never really loved you. It was just infatuation. My place is by his side. My God, is something out of woman's own. Don't phone me. Don't attempt to contact me ever again. Roger will be very angry if you do. This is the end, irrevocably. Contact. Infatuation. Trivial journalist, that's all it is. I'm his wife. My place is by his side. What century are you living in, Helen? I always knew Roger was a dictator. But letting him dictate a letter like this?
Yes, indeed. He's been identified as Brian Kotowski, the husband of Vesta Kotowski, who was strangled on Guy Fawkes night in Kenbourne Vale.
Mr. Kotowski, who has relatives in Aberdeen, has been missing since the day after his wife's death. David Willis, First City News, Kenbourne.
You give that goddamn guy the boot, Helen. Tell him straight who you belong to, where your duties lie. Write that he shouldn't attempt to make contact with you, or I pull the skin over his ears. Make it clear that it's all over. Do you understand?
Sure you can phone from here, Tony, but I'd be grateful if you'd stay with Leroy a bit when you've made your call.
Sure.
Very appropriate weather for the time of year.
Hallo? Ja, guten Tag. Ich möchte gerne Helen Schweizer sprechen. Abteilung Schifffahrt. Es ist ein privates Gespräch. Johnson. Anton Johnson. Danke. Was? Aber sie muss da sein. 14 Tage Urlaub? Im November? Aber das ist doch unmöglich. Hören Sie mal, ich glaube Ihnen kein Wort. Sie hat Ihnen aufgetragen, mir das zu sagen, nicht wahr?
Arthur, I am happy. Things are looking up at last. 2 bits of good news. The coppers say I can relet Kotowski's flat, which I will next week. Oh, they're cremating him on Monday.
Locally?
Yeah, cemetery. I don't expect it'll be a big turnout. My old woman says I should put in an appearance there. There are limits.
It's no concern of mine.
But then I haven't finished yet. Your rent's got to go up, mill, mate. All perfectly legal and above board. Oh, don't pull a face. Another 5 quid a week's not going to hurt you. What the hell did I do with that packet of crisps?
No doubt you're entitled to, but I shall ask my solicitor to look at it.
Monday. Hell of a day for a funeral.
I fear you won't find it easy letting those rooms after a murder and a suicide. People don't like that sort of thing. Puts them off.
I hate funerals, especially when I'm happy. Arthur, today I am happy.
Forasmuch as it hath pleased Almighty God, of his great mercy, to take unto himself the soul of our dear brother, here departed, we therefore commit his body to be consumed by fire, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life, through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
like a mother to you, wasn't she? You'll be needing a place of your own now, Arthur. Bachelor's digs. How does the top floor of 142 grab you?
Dear Mrs. Licini, I know that Mrs. Schweitzer will be spending some weeks in November with you, and I wonder if you would be kind enough to give her the enclose when you see her. I have mislaid her present address, otherwise I would not trouble you. Yours sincerely, A. Johnson.
I've got to post a letter myself. Could I repay your kindness of a few weeks ago and take yours too?
Thank you.
Would you believe it? Mervin's given a month's notice. The whole bloody first floor's going to be empty.
The rats, one could say, are deserting the sinking ship.
Ah, but not you, eh, mate? Tenants of unfurnished flats no go till they're carried out. Feet first. You'll end your days here, won't you, Arthur?
Got the ring, okay? Kenbourne Registry Office, please.
Allow me to offer you my congratulations, Mr. Mervyn. And good luck. Happiness for the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lovely day for a wedding. But chilly perhaps.
That means you'll be the next to marry.
No, that only applies to bridesmaids.
Best men, too. It's an old West Indian custom.
No, it's okay.
Why were you so nervous? Because you were thinking of your bride again.
Should we ask Will Johnson to join us?
What's the traffic, Leroy?
I know he's a pain, but I'm glad you saw him. It was very good of him to wish me good luck this morning. Mr. Johnson, would it be all right to spare a few minutes to come and celebrate with us? Come to the castle.
Thank you. It's good of you to ask.
Come along, Mr. Johnson.
Really good of you to ask.
Wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, refreshments.
Now, claret is the liquor for boys, port for men. But he who aspires to be a hero must drink brandy. In the words of Dr. Johnson, no, not our Tony, to marry is to domesticate the recording angel. Once you're married, there's nothing left, not even suicide, but to be good. Yeah, you like me, don't you, darling, eh?
Maybe.
Huh?
Oh, it's very, very important to have a nice view, isn't it?
You're not so fastidious, are you, eh?
Perhaps you'd care to change places with me.
No, you sit down there. No problem.
No.
There, that's more cozy, isn't it, eh?
What's your problem, mate? Hey? What's your fucking problem, mate? You should be locked up, mate. Locked up forever.
Looks like nothing up here.
A man was attacked in this car park in Kenbourne Vale near the Taj Mahal cinema. From the circumstances of the attack, police believe that his assailant mistook him for a woman. They're working on the theory that the attacker could be the same man who, for a quarter of a century, has been known as the Kenbourne Killer. A massive police hunt is underway in the area, but it's so far proved unsuccessful. Police have issued an identikit picture of the attacker.
The wanted man is described as being about 6 foot tall, of slim build, and has dark brown eyes. Probably aged in his 50s.
Earlier, I spoke to the victim of this assault. Mr. Harrison, what happened?
Yeah, well, I reckon this guy thought I was a girl, you know. I mean, like what with the long hair and being skinny and stuff, you know.
Would you recognize the man again?
Yeah, sure would. I landed him one right in the face, didn't I? I mean, I reckon anyone could identify him now. You know, not just me.
Well, leading this investigation is Detective Inspector Glass. Inspector Glass, what makes you think it is the same man, the Kenbourne Killer?
There are strong identifying features linking all three cases. No robbery, no rape. No, I've no doubt. I must stress this man is very dangerous and should not be approached under any circumstances. You can be assured. We won't rest till we've got him and put him out of harm's way. It's only a matter of time. But if anyone has any suspicion as regards to his identity or can help with our inquiries in any way, then they should ring us, day or night. Just remember, the next victim could be your wife, your mother, or your daughter.
The number to ring for Kenbourne Police is 071 226 0199. That's 071 226 0199.
that you, Arthur?
Yes? It's all right. It's only Mr. Caspian for me.
Okay.
Listen, Arthur, I've got a bloke coming round tomorrow at 5 o'clock to look at room 3.
I can't let anyone in. I've got a terrible virus infection. I've got to stay in bed. A doctor's orders.
Charming. After all I've done for you. Much obliged, I'm sure. All right, I suppose I'll have to make it a bit earlier and let the bloke in myself.
I'm sorry. I'm really not well.
Tony? Tony!
You won't leave me again. You're not going to tell me Roger is waiting? If you've only got a few minutes? Hmm?
I wouldn't know where to go. I've burned my boats.
I can't make up my mind whether to sit opposite you or next to you. One way I can look at you, the other way I can touch you.
Look at me. I want to look at you. Everything's going to be all right now, Tony. It will always be all right. Why didn't you answer my letters?
Because you told me not to. You warned me 1,000 times not to write to you.
Not in my last 3 letters.
Since the end of October, I've only had 1 letter from you. And that was to tell me you never wanted to see me again.
I never wrote any such thing.
Why did you come now?
Because of the letter you wrote me.
That stupid thing?
Was it stupid? I didn't read it. I only heard the first line. Well, you said you loved me.
Is your name Johnson?
Yes.
A. Johnson.
Yes.
And I thought it would be a young man.
You want the other Johnson. Take a seat and wait for him if you like. It's no business of mine.
Other Johnson, don't give me that.
I told the office there'd been a disaster at home. I took my coat and walked out. Aren't you pleased?
Helen, I was half dead with heartbreak, and you ask me if I'm pleased.
I wish I'd been able to read your letter. Line for line.
After the first line, you didn't miss much.
Where's she? Open the door! My wife is there. I know it.
No, no!
Open that door or I'll shoot the lock off. I'll give you 10 seconds.
To Trinity Road, please.
Go away. Go away. Leave me alone.
Seen here.